Viewers, I'm going to speak very plainly tonight. If you're a Hindu in this country, forget your civilizational claim over your Sanatani heritage. Forget about reclaiming your right to worship at Madurai and Kashi. Be prepared to see your donations to deities, your religious rituals, and your religious customs being policed by the state. Be prepared to be denied lighting a Deepam at a revered spot, even though you're backed by a court order because a political party appears to be playing to the sentiments of its favored vote bank. These views, these opening views, these comments of mine are inspired by the goings-on in Tamil Nadu, where the DMK-led India bloc government has decided it will not follow court orders. Instead, it will impeach the judge because he has dared to allow Hindu devotees to light a Deepam placed atop a sacred pillar belonging to a temple in the Kartigai hills of Madurai. The DMK's actions have resulted in a backlash. Leaders like Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, has come out and complained about the fact that a motion for impeachment is being filed against the judge, saying this has never happened since independence. Some judge gives a ruling and they bring an impeachment motion only for their vote bank. The judgment was to light a diya on a hill. India's citizens will not support this, unquote. Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, has come out and said Deepam Rao can be resolved only by Hindu strength. Awakening of Hindus is enough to bring the desired result. The matter is sub judice. Let it be resolved. If escalation is needed, it will be done, unquote. Pawan Kalyan, Andhra Deputy Chief Minister, says a sitting High Court judge is being targeted because he delivered a judgment upholding the right of believers to light a Deepam and practice a long-standing ritual. India bloc led by DMK have weaponized constitutional. This is not judicial accountability. This is blatant political intimidation. Sridhar Vembu, the founder of Zoho, has come out and said targeting Justice G Swaminathan because of a court judgment he issued was unfavorable, is a blatant attempt to intimidate judges. We must defeat this, unquote. The DMK says, and the government there says, the judge needs to be pulled up because he has bent the law to favor only Hindus repeatedly and therefore is a serial offender. Yes, viewers. The DMK says that his conduct has compromised judicial impartiality and transparency, undue favor to a senior lawyer and specific community. Verdict seen as politically influenced, violating secularism. Look closely at the DMK's charge against Justice Swaminathan. The HC judge, they say, is biased, favors one community, verdicts violate secular principles. But examine, viewers, his past orders. In July 2024, he upheld the rights of a Sufi Muslim group to observe Muharram, their traditional way. Is this, viewers, a judge who only gives justice to one community? No, viewers. He is equally fair-minded when it comes to minority interests. August 2022, this same judge directed law colleges to install Ambedkar portraits, recognizing his centrality to equality. In November 2025, a month ago, he allowed a minority group the Annadhanam after officials refused permission. In October 2025, he protected a freedom fighter statue in Sivakasi. Balanced, viewers, principled and consistent. This is what the judge has been. Now, viewers, all of this are facts, and they are undeniable facts, which I have put out. More than that, the judge has followed the past precedents also. In 1996, the Madras High Court order he followed that. The temple alone can light a Deepam or a traditional spot mandated. Future years, viewers, any site on the hill allowed. Condition 15 meters away from Dargah and steps. Lamp location equals administrative, not theological decision. And even cited a 2005 Dargah NOC where the Dargah itself signed a peace resolution, no objection to lighting at the Deepatun. You know, viewers, the problem is that this particular pillar of this particular temple stands very close to a Dargah. And viewers, there is an objection being raised by members of the minority community that if you allow Hindus to visit this particular pillar, which is a sacred pillar, it will cause all sorts of law and order problems. The DMK somehow, viewers, believes this is the case. The site the justice has earmarked, the Deepatun or pillar, is more than 50 meters away from the Dargah, which is, viewers, exactly what the Muslim community also said, that if it is further away from the Dargah, we have no problems. And we've drawn a map for you to show you, viewers, how this plays out. There you can see, that's the temple. It's the point of contention. There is a Deepatun, an ancient pillar, that is out there, viewers, above this temple. The Dargah is on the hilltop, and it is more than 50 meters away from the Deepatun. So, viewers, fundamentally, there should be no problem. Yet the India bloc, fronted by the DMK, now treats a simple question of Hindu worship, a Deepam lit on an ancient pillar 50 meters from a Dargah, as misbehavior, worthy of impeachment. All the judge has done, viewers, all he has done, and if you tell me if this is misbehavior, he delivered a judgment upholding the right of believers. He gave a nod to light a Deepatun on this hill, this revered and sacred hill. Viewers, in line with precedent. Is this about law, or is this the latest instance of sacrificing Hindu sentiment at the altar of appeasement politics? Tonight we ask, has India bloc crossed a constitutional red line? Let's open this up, viewers. I want to first begin with Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, who is a lawyer who is going to be, and let's show him amongst the other guests also, because it's good for our viewers to know who else will be joining us. But apart from Mr. Venkatesh, viewers, you're going to have several others who are important stakeholders in this conversation. If the director Saab can oblige me, there you see them. There's a whole panel, the BJP national spokesperson. There's someone representing the India bloc there, Mr. Gupta. There's also a senior journalist, Tushar Gupta. We also have with us Mr. Narayan Tirupati. And of course, Pulla Rao, who's a political analyst, well known. But let me first begin by asking Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, who's a petitioner in this matter. This issue, Mr. Venkatesh, is now a test case of Hindu religious rights. Would you agree?
Rahul, if I can say this has been waiting to happen for the last 102 years. And we are celebrating, if at all, 102 years too late. And if you recall, on 13th December 1946, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru laid out the aims and objectives of resolution in the Constituent Assembly, he did make a pertinent point that we will put the ancient land of this great ancient land in the right perspective. That was one of the promises. And as a subset to it is Tirupurangundram. As a subset to it is Ram Janmabhoomi. As a subset to it is Kashi. As a subset to it is Mathura. So Tirupurangundram is one of those, several of those issues that are pending, where we have the civilizational connect coming all over again to the modern contemporary India. So we are doing it for India, for Bharat, for contemporary India, to link it with the traditional civilizational India.
Okay, so Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, how do you respond to those that say that the judgment is infirm in law?
No, I will respond to that in the court. Tomorrow, I think we will have the appeal coming up against Justice Swaminathan's order. And I don't want to say much about it, but we will respond to those ludicrous comments in the court in the manner it deserves. I will reserve my ammunition for the courts.
So let me ask you, is there any truth to the DMK charge? Let me ask you this. I know you're going before the court tomorrow. The matter is sub judice, but is there any truth to the DMK charge?
If there is DMK, there is no truth. If there is truth, there is no DMK. That is the standard line on which I have been operating for the last 30 years in Tamil Nadu. As far as I am concerned, the DMK revels in lies, damned lies, and its own version of lies. Here are documents. Here are the name itself. The name of that pillar is Deepam. The name itself speaks for itself. You don't have to go for any record. If you don't have to go for anything else. You just look at what the record is. The record is that, look at it, and it is called Deepam. And this is admitted by everybody. Now, Deep, you understand, is the same thing as in Hindi. Toon means a pillar, a cylindrical pillar. Now, Deepam on top of a hillock situated around 580 meters above the sea level is not for something else. It is for lighting a lamp on a specific day, that is Kartigai Deepam. It is not for, definitely not for anything else. And common sense tells you, you don't have to go through anything else. Common sense tells you that this will be only for the purpose of lighting this Kartigai Deepam. And that's what it is. And all historical evidences point out that the lamp was being lit even probably 100, 120 years back. But you must understand, we are a tradition, we are having a civilization of over 4,000 years, 5,000 years. Tamil Nadu's history is more than 6,000 years. And we have been celebrating it for over 5,000 years, 6,000 years. Yes, last 100, 200 years, there have been aberrations. Aberrations don't become customs. Aberrations don't become facts. Aberrations have to be treated as aberrations. Revisit to our civilization connect is an imperative of the day, and we have to get it done, and that is what we are trying to do through the courts.
Okay, well, best of luck, Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, for tomorrow. We will, of course, catch up once again tomorrow on this show and get a sense of how the arguments went. Thank you for joining us. Let's open this up, viewers. Thank you. Let's open this up. Mr. Jain, let me begin with you first. What is the issue here? The justice has done justice. He has gone by precedent. And he has applied it. He has not allowed anyone to go, just like the previous courts did, to the hilltop, where the dargah is. He has adhered to the NOC that was signed with the dargah, and that NOC says, no objection to lighting at Deepam. This was in 2005, and I'm sure you are aware of this. And the dargah itself agreed to a 15-meter distance rule. This Deepam is more than 15 meters, it's more than 50 meters away. So what is the issue here?
So, Rahul, I'll tell you what the issue is. So very often when we are going in news channels and news debates, whether it's an anchor, whether it's a panelist like me, we tend to look at the most recent issue and not the scheme of events that have happened so far. The impeachment motion, or rather the removal motion that has been filed by the opposition members of parliament with the Speaker of Lok Sabha, is not pertaining to this particular judgment. It is a series of events against this particular judge. It just so happens that this particular judgment is one of the most recent things that have happened, and people have pointed out how there have been orders of the Madras High Court in conflict with what Justice Swaminathan has given. And for your viewers who may not know, a High Court single judge is bound by the orders of the same High Court, previous orders of the same High Court regarding the same issue. So for that reason, the judgment given by him is bad in law. I'm not saying the judgment may be right, the judgment may be wrong. That is for an appellate court to decide. But prima facie, if you're going against a pre-decided case, that is bad in law. But I don't think that's the only issue. This judge has issued a number of problematic statements. I'll give you an example. The country will cease to exist and the constitution will cease to exist if the demography is altered. We all know, and I need not say much. I am a judge, but you know what I'm trying to say. This is exactly what he said. This is an India Today report that I'm reading from. 8 judges in August this year raised questions. 8 former judges of the Madras High Court had raised questions about the conduct of this particular judge. He has gotten in tussle with different lawyers of the Madras High Court bar who have alleged
That is all. No,
casteist and communal
hang on.
biases
None of
against
this
him.
constitutes, viewers, none of this constitutes impeachment. The rules for impeachment are very clear, and that's why I went over them, viewers. Let us have a look. What does the rule for
Rahul, may I complete?
impeachment? One second. No, you made your point now. I mean, this is not a
No,
monologue.
I wanted to complete. I wanted to complete. All right. I will not give you more examples, but I just wanted to complete. If indeed this judge is guilty of misconduct or misbehavior, which warrants removal of him from his office, it is for a committee to decide, the committee which will be set up by the Speaker of the Lok
Viewers-
Sabha under the Judges Inquiry Act 1968.
Viewers,
Let that
viewers,
committee be
where
set up
will this,
and let that
where
committee
will
give a
this,
verdict.
okay, where will this end? Every judge you don't like because he doesn't seem to toe your line, doesn't rule in your favor, are you going to impeach? Because viewers, let me tell you, when there's proven misbehavior or incapacity, clearly there is no incapacity here, viewers. I've already read out a series of judgments that this particular judge has given, which stands in contravention of one of the first charges, that this man violates secularism when he sits in a court. Now, I've already showed you, viewers, how he has ruled in favor of a Sufi Muslim group, in favor of Ambedkarites and Dalits. Several examples are listed here where he has given justice to minorities and not just to Hindus. And this business of saying that he's countered a bigger bench, viewers, that same bigger bench has upheld his judgment. Now, viewers, if you have a problem with the judgment, go up in appeal. Am I right or wrong? And let me bring in Mr. Gupta here. Go up in appeal to another court. You have the right to redress. Take it there. But what is impeachment going to serve? And I'm not understanding this. Is this a way of intimidating? What do you make of it?
It is a way of intimidating. Remember, a letter was also written about the legal fraternity and how it was sort of towing the government's line. It was a manufactured perception of sorts. But Rahul, I want to raise another important point. You spoke about an NOC that was signed in 2005. I personally disagree with that premise. If we start going by NOCs for people to be able to worship where they want to worship, then I think we are setting a very dangerous precedent here. Point number two, earlier this year, Rahul, and we debated this, we had the Waqf Amendment Act of 2025. And I remember this because we both debated this on your show. We spoke about Waqf by user. And Tamil Nadu had a village which had a Waqf problem. Waqf by user used to say that if the Waqf feels a certain tract of land has been used for religious purposes in the past, they could claim it without any formal declaration or deed, without the paperwork.
Yeah.
That was acceptable to the opposition. When the government scrapped Section 40, scrapped Waqf by user in the recent amendments, the same opposition went to the Supreme Court and said, no, this is wrong. This is against the minority community. You cannot scrap it. So the opposition bats for a law like Waqf, but they are against the practice that has been going on for 100 years in Tamil Nadu. That's point number one. Point number two, in the case of Waqf, they were happy to go to the Supreme Court. They were happy to take the case to the Supreme Court. Even the Supreme Court said that you have no case there, and the amendments sailed through the legal test. But they did not go for impeachment then. But today, when the Madras High Court judge has given a certain ruling, they want to impeach him. I just want to draw this contrast in how the Indie bloc treats two religions, two different issues from the prism of religion very, very differently. And it's all a part of the appeasement politics they play. So my question, Rahul, is this country going to see the majority religion people requesting for NOCs, court permissions, and political parties' approval to worship where they've been worshipping for 100 years? Today it's a hill in Tamil Nadu. Tomorrow it will be a temple in Uttar Pradesh. Where does it stop? In Uttarakhand, someone will come up and say, sorry, we have something going on here. You cannot worship in Kedarnath. You need an NOC.
Okay.
Where do we stop this?
Where do we stop?
Because this sets
Mr.
a
Pullarao,
very dangerous precedent.
it's a dangerous precedent. Waqf by user was defended, but darshan by user at a pillar is being resisted. I don't understand. It's inconsistent, number one. Number two, the same government went to the Supreme Court to impose deadlines on governors to sign bills, was told to sort of take a walk, didn't get any recourse from there. A few days back, somebody who's a supporter of the DMK said that even if the Supreme Court doesn't rule in their favor, they will continue to oppose this. Where are we going to go? This is almost a separatist mindset now.
Let me quote somebody whom you know of very well, Charles Dickens. The law is an ass. 200 years ago, still holds. You're expecting too much from the law. There'll be contradictory judgments. And one more thing, in the beginning of your...
just a minute. Just explain yourself. I'm not understanding this.
I'm saying, you said there are contradictory judgments.
Yeah.
For religious issues, there will always be contradictory judgments. That's why there are so many judges. It's not an automat. It's not a robot. They'll give their views.
Okay.
Second point, in your introduction, you made a very good point. Where will all this end? I want to simply ask you, I have nothing against the judgment. I have nothing against the Deepam there. It's fine. Tradition, 100 years, 5,000 years. It's all, nobody is against it. The main thing is we have 1,200 High Court judges, like our friend, the Madras High Court judge, Mr. Swaminathan. What if half of them start giving judgments? Now, my friend, Mr. Tirupati will say, no, that's wrong. What if they start giving these judgments? The day is not far when other judges will give judgments on issues like this, which are not palatable to some. The other aspect, just a point. The other aspect is, when a judge gives a judgment, he also has to keep in view this is not a personal case of personal crime. This is a public issue. Let's be very conscious of that. A judgment should be soft. Let it be hard.
No, hang on. Okay, one second. A public issue. Viewers, in this particular matter, there are two sides. The public here is ranged on two sides. There is the minority side and there is the Hindu side. To the Hindu side also, the Deepatun matters. The Muslim side says, no, this Deepatun should not be too close to us. This ceremony cannot take place too close to us. So they, whether rightly or wrongly, signed an NOC and said, okay, if it's beyond 15 meters from where our dargah is, we have no problems with it. This Deepatun is 50 plus meters away. The High Court says, let's go ahead. The masjid has no problem, or the dargah has no problem. The DMK has a problem. And here we have a gentleman who's saying the law is an ass. So, basically...
I didn't say it.
No, that's fine, sir. That's okay. That's fine. Then why did the DMK go running to the Supreme Court wanting restrictions imposed on governors and all of that? Then they shouldn't have gone. They should have just picked up the governor, given him 2 slaps and asked him to sign at gunpoint. Isn't that the way you want? What do you want? Do you want the Hindus to run amok up the hill?
No,
what are you saying? So the Hindus have done the right thing, viewers. They have been so patient. Even today, when a court has supported them and the DMK has rewarded them with lathis, and I can show you those pictures, viewers, of the thrashing that these Hindus got, the devotees, they have kept within the red lines of the law. And this gentleman says the law is an ass.
One judge should not become
okay, Mr. Tirupati, how do you respond to Mr. Pullarav?
Mr. Pullarav is totally wrong. Mr. Pullarav is totally wrong. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Mr. Pullarav is totally wrong because, see, there was never any contradiction in this issue. There was no dispute in this issue because 1920 civil case very clearly established that this place, the Devatun, belongs to the temple. Be very, very clear, Mr. Pullarav. Please read the judgments. There was no contradiction. There was absolutely no controversy. The only issue is that the governments did not cooperate. The governments did not bother. This is the issue. Because now what the DMK does is that appeasement of minorities. We are not discussing about the appeasement of minorities issue. Why should they appease the minorities? Because they vote in bulk, but Hindus don't vote in bulk. This is the issue. Only for votes, the DMK is doing this.
Okay.
And very clearly, the judge, very clearly, he himself personally went and saw to it that this will not disturb the Dargah. Please understand, the judge himself went and saw to it. And he is a judge in Tamil Nadu who has cleared more than 80,000 cases in 7 years. 80,000 cases he has given, judgments in 7 years.
And he's also ruled against, viewers, the BJP.
Yes.
Mr. Annamalai,
Yeah.
who was here on the show 2 days back.
No. And even Mr. Rahul, he has also magnanimous to persons who was very, very critical of him. Please understand, because he is a person of that type. We need to definitely acknowledge him. We need to definitely see to it that we need people like him. But what the DMK does here is that they want to take score because elections are nearing. They are doing it. They are using the Vidudalai Sirthigal Katchi. They are using their alliance.
Big charge by the BJP. The
Yes.
DMK wants to create an impasse here. They want to turn this
Communal
into
DMK.
another Ayodhya
Please.
kind of issue. So that they can consolidate their hold over a minority vote bank, which they believe will get them across the halfway line. Viewers, is that really what it is? Tomorrow the Supreme Court will be hearing this issue. I think we should all reserve comment till then. There's no point digging and scratching below the surface. We've heard a plethora of views, viewers, 4 or 5 views on this. Let's come back tomorrow to this issue and let's see what the Supreme Court has to say. Viewers, let's move on because there is a very important story that I want to focus on. And it's a